Hey, welcome back to the homestead. Well, it's a windy but pretty warm December afternoon here on this Saturday, and I'm hiding out in the shadow of the scarecrow, so I don't have the sun in my face. But yeah, it's late afternoon. Just finishing harvesting out the rest of these beans and sugar peas. So that's the little harvest there. Nothing crazy, but that'll be a couple meals worth and some snacks and some green material for the compost pile. So I'm happy about that. Yeah, overall those were good varieties. Sugar and pea, that's like a snap pea. You just pop it off and eat it raw, or you can cook it quickly too if you want, like a stir fry. Those were really good. And the other was a green bean, a bush bean. Gosh, I forgot the name of that one. But yeah, stoked on those. Anyways, not a whole lot going on lately, but yeah, we did have a disaster here in the chicken coop, so I was gonna fill you guys all in on what happened. But the crazy thing is, and sorry for the wind if that's messing up the audio, but the crazy thing is we have another disaster that I just noticed. So before we can even get to the chicken coop disaster, I've got to show you this other disaster. So we're gonna head on over to the orchard and see what's going on over there. Alright, well, first of all, a little mini disaster. Everything's hitting at once. Was this hose bib here. It just started leaking out here, and I started tightening it down and just seeing if it would work, and it wouldn't. So I had to go get a new hose bib, so I've got to sweat that on now. I was just letting the water drain out, but when I was down here doing this, I noticed that one of my peach trees got knocked over. And it was just laying there like this. I just noticed this like literally a few minutes ago. So I went and took a look, and it seems like the roots have been gnawed off by a gopher. Like, see that clean cut there? It looks like a gopher just basically, I mean, for sure, pretty much just ate the entire root system here. So this is just horrible. So what I'm gonna do is just replant it, but like that, and I'll maybe show you guys after what it looks like. But I've got to replant it and probably gonna have to stake it and maybe prune it now so that it doesn't have so much weight up top. So yeah, that's just a bummer, but I guess you're just gonna run into that problems in your orchard. You can't expect everything to be perfect, but the bummer thing is, I've at this point since last spring, I've gotten rid of at least 30 gophers with gopher traps. That was mostly in the spring though. So since summer and fall hit and it got warm, and we don't have rain in the summer or fall, they bury their holes. So after they pop up through a hole, they bury it, so I can't use my traps because I don't know where their holes are because they bury them. So I'm actually working on getting a gopher guy out here who charges like 15 bucks a gopher for each one he gets rid of. So sometimes you just got to pay the pros when you don't have the ability or time or energy to do something. But yeah, I'm gonna replant that and hopefully that'll live. We'll find out. But yeah, the main disaster that happened this week, that was over at the chicken coop. So just to cut to the chase of it, we lost 3 hens. And I think this happened Monday or Tuesday night, so it's Saturday now. So let me show you the scenario. So here's our chicken yard, and see that gate over there? That leads to the neighbor's yard. That was open one day, so all the chickens went into their yard because they like to go over there and see what's, exciting. But anyways, I came over and closed that and got them all in. And, I don't think that has anything to do with it, but it was just a weird anomaly. Because it seems like a predator may have came from that area. So anyways, I came in to check on them like Wednesday morning, and I saw one of them sitting right over by the door there with no head. So she was just laying down there, and she had her head completely removed. And that was one of our Buff Orpingtons, and she was one that would always sleep on the ground for some reason. And I would put her up on the perches, you know, as often as I could, but still, like, on a day-to-day, night-to-night basis, she would sleep on the ground. And then there was another one that would always sleep in here, and then one would sleep out here. So these chickens just had weird habits. But some of them like to sleep there, and I tried to break it, but I just, you know, probably could have broken the habit if I put a lot of effort into it, but I didn't figure it was worth it. But anyways, something came in, and it came in through that door, and then it got the ones that weren't up on the perches. So that's at least my theory I'm going with, because if it's like a raccoon, it can get to the two, you know, the one that sleeps in and the one that sleeps on the perch, and then the other gal that sits on the ground, obviously. So theory being that, like, most likely a raccoon came in and just had its way with the ones that were easy to get, and then you have the ones up on the perches that didn't have any problem, and they were totally fine. So bit of a bummer there, kind of sad. We're down to 15 now, I think it is, after that. But yeah, the reason I mentioned this gate over here is there seemed to be a trail of feathers. There's another gate. So past our gate to the neighbors is another gate to the next lot over. You can just barely see there's a house over there. So it goes this house, the neighbor's house, and then the next one and the next one. So this is like the corner. This is like 4 corners over here. But anyways, there's a gate through there. And like, I guess there was Julie saw like a trail of feathers over there. So I think something came from that way, took them and ran off with them. But anyways, yeah, that's a bummer. I think it happened around like dusk time. Because what had happened is Tuesday night, I believe it was hard to keep track of all the times and dates, but it was like Monday night I did a head count on them after they escaped out. That gate's open. Let's get out of the wind. But yeah, Monday I did a head count. Get away from the wind. In the coop, the safety of the coop. Yeah, Monday I did a head count because, well, there's one that escapes a lot, and I want to make sure she was back, and yeah, they all went out through that gate. So I did a head count. Everyone was there. And then it was, I think it was the next night that I forgot to close the door, the gate into their enclosed run. And so I went out after dinner, which is at dark, and just closed it and didn't check anything. And, you know, and then I think it was the next morning that we noticed the victim there. So anyways, that's something that happened, and we're gonna try and learn from it and close this thing up at dusk, or, you know, as it's getting dark. And you know, we've actually left the gate to the run open like a number of times over the past like year, and since nothing ever happened, we kind of took it for granted that like the predators don't really come over here. But sure enough, we learned the hard way. So that's about it. That's really all the update for this week. But yeah, keep an eye on us, and subscribe to the channel, because we're gonna get more birds to the flock. Probably thinking of adding about 15 more hens to get to about 30. So that'll happen soon, into the early new year. So subscribe to the channel, hit a big fat thumbs up for us, and drop a comment, please. And yeah, we'll see you on the next one. Thanks for stopping by.